Sunday, man? I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by lead goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
Howdy ho, howdy hey, how the hell is everybody? Happy Saturday. It is Saturday and the world of college football is back. We got great guests on hand. We got a lot of topics to rip at. Christopher Cole's excited. He says first in the chat. Thanks for commenting first, Christopher. Means a lot to us here on the Buccaneers. Welcome into our Saturday showdown with the great J-Lo and myself here. And we got a very special guest on the first half of the show, as we're always joined by Joey Nips in half number 2. He'll be jumping on 11:15 a.m. Eastern. First half, we got the great Bucs by 30. Zack Johnson joining us. He's a friend of the show, has been on before a few times. Looking forward to picking his brain yet again. Zack, how the heck you doing, my man?
Doing well, Tones. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always a great time to chat with you. You're a fantasy football guy, a memorabilia guy, a big West Virginia guy, Buccaneers, of course, Zack. So I'm sure we'll be exchanging some blows on West Virginia, Penn State as well here as we are on a college football Saturday. But Zack, real quick, I'm sure enough people follow you to watch the show, but real quick, for those that don't, let them know where they can follow you on Twitter, X, whatever the hell you want to call it.
At Bucs by 30.
That's all it is, and that's classic, man. I love that. How did you think of that, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
It was the LeBron meme that came out several years ago, and it was Cavs and 4 or whatever it was. And I was just sitting around thinking one day, like, why is our slogan "It's a Bucs Life" kind of considered like a negative connotation about everything, right? Like every time something bad would happen with the team, we'd all just be like, "Yeah, it's a Bucs Life," right? So I wanted to try to put a positive spin on something and be like, "Hey, it doesn't matter what happened in life, man. Bucs by 30." So that's kind of where my thought process was when I came up with it.
I love that, and you're a big part of Bucs Twitter. We appreciate you greatly, all the things you do. You bring a lot of people together, and that's what we love seeing. You know, you're always a man for the people, trying to help them out with memorabilia advice if they might need it and such. So we're going to get into memorabilia and so much more today, as well as you've had a couple of real nice ads to your Bucs Cave, and you had a family member kind of blessing the Bucs Cave itself, and maybe change its colors just a little bit, but we'll get into that fun stuff here in a bit. J-Lo, how the hell you doing? You're looking spiffy, my man. I like it a lot. Nice hairdo, and Gators jersey. You guys are in for a tough one against Miami today.
Oh, yes. We are in rivalry week, fellas. Week 1 officially here. I'm excited. You know, a lot of doubters are doubting us, and that's fine. You know, that's why we just got to take out Miami, as far as that goes.
Yeah, we'll see if you can, man. That's going to be a good one. I like that first game right off the bat for you guys, ripping the Band-Aid off. And now that 12 teams make the playoffs, one loss doesn't eliminate teams these days. You know, still some of the smaller squads. But the West Virginias, the Penn States, the Florida Gators of the world, if they get one loss now, they'll still have a path to making it to the postseason, where last year, the year before, if Penn State, West Virginia, Florida lose a game, you're done, you're out, unless you go on some kind of miracle run. But Zack, I want to start off with you here first. 8 days until Bucs kickoff, 6 days NFL in general. How excited are you? And, the offseason kind of went quick to me, but I'm ready for some football. I'm ready for some Bucs football. Do you have any plans for next week's game, or are you going to hang low, chill in the Bucs Cave, and do your thing?
Yeah, I'm just probably gonna have some people over, but just chill, watch it here.
That'll be fun. And speaking of having people over, I seen you had an exciting autograph signing the other day at your house. It was on your X and Twitter as well. If you want to get into that a little bit with the great Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Not this Frazier, though. This Frazier, I do wish he was a Buck. Don't get me wrong. I love Graham Barton, but this kid's going to be a beast. Zach, I'll let you run away with this one, though, is you have a little more ties to him than I do.
Yeah. Zack married my niece, and so he was in town yesterday. He's in town for the WVU game, so he's going back there to hang out with the team for the opening weekend. And I was fortunate enough to get him to stop by last night and sign a few things for me. So
that's really cool. I've seen he signed your wall even. And for those unfamiliar, that's Zach Frazier. He's a new acquainted offensive lineman for the Steelers. And he's going to have a hell of a time in Pittsburgh. Again, wish he was in Tampa, but at least he's got Mike Tomlin leading his way. You know, you do have, not that he's been great lately, but you have a veteran like Russell Wilson under center. You know, it's a fun time in Pittsburgh. I'm so happy for you and your family. I would have guessed he was a blood relative. I could see a little bit of similarities between you guys a little bit here, you know, the facial hair and some other things, but that's incredibly cool, Zach. I'm really wishing him well in his journey. And J-Lo, any thoughts? I know you watch a lot of film on Steelers new centers or offensive lineman, I should say, but you know, primarily a center, Zach Frazier.
One thing, he wrestled in college, right? He was a wrestler. I love linemen that wrestle. I think it's a very good trait to carry when you're an offensive lineman, because then you'll be using your hands to help protect the quarterback. That's one thing I liked about Frazier, because I know I was a big fan of him, us taking him, you know, even late first round. If everything didn't fall into place, he would have been the plan B or C, you know, or if not, second round would have been fine too. But he's in a great situation. He's going to be starting as a rookie because I believe their center went down for the year. So now he steps in. I think he's going to do great things. Might be a little rusty at first, you know, but those first couple games could be a little jittery, you know, and depending on how Russell Wilson does, you know, command the offense with the new play caller and Arthur Smith, I think, you know, he's going to have a great rookie season. And like I said, Pittsburgh needs him. You know, they're desperate for offensive linemen because they've been really.
And Pittsburgh, J-Lo, I think you make a great point. Pittsburgh's a great landing spot. We've seen no linemen go there before, and it's just like it fits like a glove, it seems. You know, Pittsburgh's one of those nitty-gritty teams that gets after it. So very excited to see where Zach Frazier goes from here. You never know. Maybe down the road he'll don red and pewter, but for now he dons the gold and black, and those are good colors to rep as well. If I could probably play for any coach outside of Todd Bowles, it would be the great Mike Tomlin. But speaking of Todd Bowles, boys, we do have Bucs football 8 days away, 4:25 Eastern next week, home against the Commandos, the Commanders, the Redskins, the football team, you know, the team of many names at this point. So call them as you see it. Zach, we're only going to get your opinion and take on this game here. Then we'll get to the Bucs practice squad, some moves they made, memorabilia, and that fun stuff. But we'll save our prediction for next week. But Zach, if you could kind of, maybe not even a score prediction, but let us know how you feel this game's going to go, how you see this game shaking out. And if you do have a score prediction, lay it on us, my friend.
I don't know if I'm ready for a score prediction just yet. I don't know if I thought about it in that context yet. But I feel like the secondary has been getting a lot of question marks because we moved Davis in the offseason, but I think with bringing Whitehead back, it's really going to shore up that back end. And then Washington moved Dotson, and then Samuel left in the offseason. So I feel like outside of McLaurin, McCaffrey's a rookie, so we don't really know what he's going to bring to it. Sanat's a rookie, so I mean that offense is really, really young. So I think we're going to be catching them at the right time before they maybe hit their NFL stride. So I think everything kind of shakes out. I feel pretty good about saying I think Tampa comes away with a W to start the season off.
Yeah, and in years past, before this regime of Bowles and Arians kind of took over, you would see a rookie quarterback coming to town, and it would be, oh boy, here we go again. We got a rookie cat coming to town. But Bowles and Arians, mainly Bowles more so, but they have put that to rest the past couple of seasons. They've really done a nice job adjusting against the rookie quarterbacks, the unknown quarterbacks. J-Lo, what say you? Are you in the same mindset? We don't need your full because we'll still preview the game to come. But J-Lo, give us about a minute synopsis of Zach's comments on the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad we're playing them first. Like that said, you want to get them now before they start building confidence on what they can do. Washington had a great offseason. I feel like adding a lot of key pieces. Jaden Daniels, I think, is going to be a stud. But I think the first game gives us opportunity to kind of give them a welcome to the NFL type vibe. And I agree. I think we'll be fine. I'm not too stressing about it for the most part.
Yeah, I think we'll be fine as well. And again, week one, I think you guys both make a good point. I'd almost rather play the Commandos week one than a couple other weeks into the season when Jaden Daniels gets a little more accustomed with his offense, when, they could make a little bit better progress potentially down the road. So I like the spot that the Bucs are in for week one. Again, it ain't a gimme, but it's a good enough game to battle test the Bucs, but where they should win this game. So I think we're in a good spot. As Cannon Fire joins us saying, "Go Gators, J-Lo." Rhett is on your side. It looks like the great Rhett Matthews from Cannon Fire, that is. We got Olivia saying, "Good morning, fellas." We got Dave Castle joining us on Facebook. Pops texting. He goes, "Cool dude, the Zach Frazier guy." So that's cool. We got Bucs by 30 getting a shout out from Pops on Twitter. So all good stuff there, on the text line, not on Twitter. Damn it. Sometimes I talk so fast that I misconstrue my words. But a look into the Psych Ward. And Zach, some people might be like, "What do you mean Psych Ward?" But I think you got a cool little nickname going over there, and it's a cool story behind it as well. As we're joined by JT Olson from Bucs Report. JT does an incredible job covering the Bucs. So does Bucs Report over there. So great stuff there. Emily, hi everyone. I see three amigos. Where's the legend in his own mind, Gene? Chris, Olivia, Cannon Fire in the house. Emily, Gene actually ran because he knew you were going to comment today. So Gene was like, "I'm out of here. I'm not battling Emily this morning on a college football game day." Gene took off though. He was afraid of you, Emily. I think he's seen you put the boxing gloves on. But Zach, the Psych Ward, if you want to give us the details about the nickname, how it got there, and some of your newest and latest and greatest pickups for the Psych Ward.
Yeah, sure. So I got the opportunity to go to the Arians Foundation with gala and golf tournament a few years ago from affiliation through some other guys on a podcast that everybody might know, the Loose Cannons. And so I was at the gala, and Jason Light came over to the fellas and was talking a little bit. And I was kind of standing off to the side. I wasn't really in the conversation. And one of them asked Jason if he knew the guy from Twitter that had all the Bucs jerseys in his basement. And Jason Light just out of the blue said, "Oh, you mean Zach Johnson?" So he knew who I was from Twitter, which was crazy to even think of. So they made the introduction, and later in the evening, we were just kind of shooting the breeze about some stuff, and Jason just said that he really appreciates fans like me, and then kind of put his arm around me and was like, "This psycho right here." So it just kind of evolved from that part of it. So I just used that. I mean, if the GM of your favorite football team makes that kind of a comment, you really just, in my opinion, have to pick it up and run with it. So I kind of dubbed the basement here the Psych Ward because of that.
Yeah, I don't think you could come up with a better, like that feels like a Lifetime movie, almost like a script of a movie where it's like, holy shit, that's incredible. And I don't know if you guys has noticed, but Jason Light, when he first became general manager of the Bucs, his Twitter following was rather small. It was tiny. Nothing against it, but it was small. And he would make the videos of him and his family jumping into the pool after wins with their clothes on and all excitement. And then kind of, year by year, Bruce Arians came, Tom Brady came, and Light, even though he was already popular amongst the fans, he kept growing popularity. And that's really cool, Zach, that he actually recognizes the fandom side of it. He actually recognizes people going the extra mile to support his team. I mean, you're a guy in West Virginia doing the most that you easily biggest. I still have you in my phone as biggest Bucs fan in West Virginia. So that's without a doubt right there, my friend. But really cool stuff when a GM of a team, as Donnie Pepin says, our favorite Canadian joins us. He says best GM in the league. Absolutely. And best GM in Bucs history. When a guy goes the extra mile, takes it above and beyond, and actually recognizes fandom and then gives a nickname. And it sticks like that. It's just incredible, Zach. And have you had any recent pickups of late that have kind of been eye-popping to the edition? I know some people don't know. A lot of people know you. But for those that don't know you, this guy's got like 1 million game-used jerseys and items, and they're all beautiful, many stories behind them. So, Zach, if you did pick up anything new, feel free to share it here as well.
Yeah, I got. I think the one that's the best that I added, besides I finally got an Evans, which that's a Grail item, and it's one that I've been chasing since I started and didn't think it was going to happen, but the stars aligned and was able to close the deal to get that. So I was real excited about adding that. But I picked up one, and the pictures didn't really do it justice, and until I got it in. You know how that is, Tones.
Yep.
People lighting and different things, the way they hold the camera, it doesn't always pick up all the intricacies of a jersey. And so I got the Winfield from the Falcons game last year, where he caused the touchback on the Ritter scramble. And the jersey is just it's gorgeous. It's got the because after he knocks that ball away, he slides on the grass for maybe 10 12 feet, and it's unwashed, so it's cool. It's everything you could possibly want in a gamer. Got a big play attached to it. It's got great wear. It's an amazing player. So real excited about that pickup.
And for those that don't know, the game used hobby, you actually prefer stuff dirty, unwashed, smelly, as nasty as that sounds, but you prefer it the muckier, the messier it is. So, Zach, I don't know about you, but I'm actually pretty proud of the Bucs locker room or NFL auctions of late. They've done a nice job of kind of leaving the jerseys as is, where more so back in the day, I feel like they were at least getting cleaned a little bit somewhat. But now, I mean, I got the Edmonds jersey from the Titans game, then I got the Devin White one from your same game last year against the Falcons, and these things reek, but Winfield trumps all those. So congrats on that pickup. Congrats on the Evans pickup. Out of all those big names, do you have a favorite out of all your jerseys? Is there a particular one that's a favorite to you for whatever reason, rhyme or reason?
It's easy. The easiest one is to pick the Evans, right? But honestly, I got two that are real sentimental for me. I got a Whitehead rookie jersey a long time ago, and I was able to take it to a game and have an interaction with him over the jersey, which was really cool. Honestly, he was like really even kind of shocked that somebody had it and was excited about it. So that was cool. And then Rashad White sent me a jersey from Twitter. So that's pretty cool to get a jersey directly from a player. I mean, it doesn't really get any better than that. So unless it's at the game, that's kind of a bucket list, is to get one right off their back at a game, if that could ever possibly happen. But even if it doesn't, after getting one directly from a player, I mean, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more. Getting one at a game would be. I remember when Nacho took his off. Lenny took one off after a game and gave it to a fan. Hell, Mike Evans threw his Super Bowl helmet into the stands, and things like that are insane, but great core memories for this fan base, especially for collectors like us. Rashad White, that jersey's incredible. Probably number 29. Yeah, it is. Now that I think about it, it is number 29. That's more rare than his number 1. That's going to be one to keep on forever. Rookie season jersey. Emily says make the collection complete and get Gene's Bucs jersey with the bear stains on it. Oh man, Gene spilling his bear. He's probably a little hungover out. He's going to watch this later and be like, Emily, I'm coming for you. J-Lo, any questions for the great Zach about his Psych Ward? I mean, it's just incredible to see so much good stuff in one man cave.
Just seeing the background, man, that's just an ultimate dream for me to have something like that, bro. Like, amazing.
Thank you.
Just a story you just tell us, between Jason Light, admiring, you and what you do, the Psych Ward, and then all these jerseys you collect, and plus the interaction with the players, because they're people just like us. So, I've had interactions in the past growing up as a kid with Rondé Barber, some of the Bucs greats, and it's always a great feeling. I don't really have any questions, but I will just tell I really admire what you do, man. You do great work, bro.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, and the Bucs community does recognize it, and we do appreciate you. I couldn't imagine Bucs by 30 not being a part of the Bucs community, so we are very lucky to have Zack in there, and we're lucky to have him here on the Buccaneers as we are live right now on YouTube, Facebook, and more on our Saturday Showdown kickoff show, the world of football in a nutshell. We are here with you guys until right up to college kickoff. Here is a great J.C. Allen from Sports Illustrated chimes in. 7-6 Chiefs down by 1, start off the second quarter. Cannon, giving us an update on the little man, Cannon Allen. For those unfamiliar, JC's great son, Cannon. He's a fierce competitor, offensive lineman, D lineman in the trenches. He plays for the Chiefs. They are down 1, so JC Allen, this is probably the only time I'll say it. Go Chiefs. I'm not saying that any other damn time unless maybe against the Saints, Panthers, or Falcons, but whatever. That's neither here nor there. Another Let's Go Gators. Pepin Steppin keeps firing up the Gators. Speaking of the world of college football, we'll get into that here in a little bit. We're going to ask Zack about West Virginia, Penn State. I do think this is going to be a fun game. And for those unfamiliar, this used to be a big rivalry way back in the day. West Virginia, Penn State, not too far from each other in terms of actual how far would you say it is, Zack, roughly? You probably know, like 5 hours.
Yeah, I was going to say 5.5, 6 hours, depending on which way you go, yeah.
So not terrible. No. Oh, boy. See, this is the media that we get. I'm screen grabbing that, posting with no context. See, now we're going to have people coming. Tampa Tone said, go Chiefs. Oh, my God. Well, that's the end of the show. We're canceled, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to pack our bags and move to Kansas City and do some barbecuing, I guess. No, just kidding. But, yeah, 5-hour drive, maybe 6 hours. But Penn State, West Virginia, that'll be very fun. But we still have some more Bucs chat to get to. And that's including former Bucs offensive coordinator continuing to steal our damn players. And, we could see it coming. Canales, one of those guys who I liked a lot when he was here, but now I'm starting to not like the guy because, I'm letting my fandom take over and he keeps poaching our players. For those unfamiliar, they did get Brandon Walton into their practice squad, former Bucs offensive lineman. He's now a member of the Panthers. They ended up poaching Keenan Isaac from us, defensive back. He was looking very good in camp. People were hoping he would make the active here, and now he got signed by the Panthers. In the offseason, they got Dave Moore, the wide receiver, who went off against the Packers last year, almost cost us a touchdown, but that's neither here nor there. They tried to bring in Devin Tompkins. That didn't work out too well. They poached a bunch of coaches from us. They got some other players as well. And then I called this one, guys. I was tweeting. For those unfamiliar, Greg Allman, he's a man. He works for Fox Sports, formerly of The Athletic, formerly of a couple other things, but he's very responsive on Twitter with the fans, with podcasters, all that stuff. So yesterday morning around 7 or 8 a.m., Greg Allman broke the news that Brandon Walton went to the Panthers. And I literally tweeted at him, I could see them getting John Wolford in the near future. I just see it. It makes sense. You look at their depth chart. They have Bryce Young, Andy Dalton, and no one else. Well, they don't need a young quarterback because they already have their first-round pick from last year. And then they don't need a great veteran backup because they have Andy Dalton. So Wolford kind of fits that perfect third guy there. Guess what happened? Late afternoon yesterday, John Wolford to Carolina. We'll start with you here, Zack. Thoughts on the Panthers becoming Tampa Bay of the East, kind of, and Dave Cannell, you think this strategy works for him, or you think they're kind of doing it to kind of pick these guys' brains a little more so for some intel?
I think it's going to try to help him with his comfortability into stepping into the head coaching range. He'll have some guys that'll be familiar with him and know his style and can help transition that to the other players. So it wasn't surprising to me to see him bring on all those coaches and players. And some of the coaches I don't want to say happy to see move on, but I felt like, their time in Tampa had maybe ran out. You know what I mean? Like I felt like a new, fresh perspective and message, some different coaching styles and techniques might have been, positive for us. So it was good that they didn't lose their jobs. They just got jobs somewhere else.
And I agree with that, Zack. And the coaches, they are all good guys. But like you said, they kind of like all good things in life, you kind of grow out of it eventually, sadly. And that seemed what happened with them in Tampa. And they were effective coaches. And, they're just in a new place now, new faces, new places. And I think you made a great point, Zach. The transition to the head coaching role of Carolina, these guys are going to help smooth that, and we're like, 70 days away from election. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, they're both bringing on transition teams just in case they win to help them in the White House. It's kind of the same as a football head coach, right? He's getting his quote unquote transition team, all these players, all these guys to help him feel more comfortable in that role. So kudos to him. I will give him kudos for that. I think that's a good move on his part. Get comfortable. And you never know. Maybe Canales runs for president. No, I'm kidding. But his book out there was very revealing this off. I didn't know half that book came out before he even came to the Bucs. But for some reason, it seemed like it just caught steam this offseason. But we have all our mistakes. We all have skeletons in our closet. So I don't wish ill will upon Dave. I just hope he does really bad coaching the Carolina Panthers. His pockets will be fine regardless. J-Lo, thoughts on Panthers kind of poaching all these guys? Like Zach said, I think it's a smart idea for him transitioning to that team as a head coach.
I mean, it doesn't shock me. He's gonna go get whatever players he's coached before last year. I don't see him really getting far with the Panthers. I just think he moves.
By the way, third oldest roster in the league. Third oldest roster in the league. It's not that's fucking mind blowing. Like I can't comprehend that.
And in salary cap.
Yeah, and in salary cap. Like how? J-Lo, thoughts?
I mean, it's mind blowing, but at the same time, I just don't see him as a threat. I mean, he added players that really are not going to really see the field too much, honestly. Walton, I appreciate his efforts, what he did here, but obviously he's not going to see the field for the Panthers unless by injury. Wolford, I mean, he's no disrespect. I mean, he's soft as a box full of kittens. I mean, one hit and he's out. I mean, I just don't see him ever seeing a real live NFL game again, depending on him. And as far as Canales goes, I mean, kudos to him getting a head coaching job. But let's face facts that he was not the first option. He wasn't the second option. He wasn't the third option. He was the only option that was willing to take the job. Let's be real here. No one wants to go to an organization like the Panthers at this moment in time because, we all know the owner's a ticking time bomb. But best of luck to him.
Oh, Tepper, you mean drink in the face when he gets upset? He'll get a drink and throw it in your face.
I mean, he looks like an owner that I would just punch in the face for just being what he is. I mean, he's just not a great owner at all. And I would hate to
the thing with him, what gets him, and you see a lot of people in power and money, greed. And he can't take criticism. He's one of those asshats that is a weak spine in terms of this guy. There's stories of him driving down the road, seeing anti-Panthers stuff or anti-David Tepper stuff, and he'll stop in there and bitch those people out. Buddy, instead of doing that, put a winning product on the field so your fans don't have to feel that way. They might feel that way for a reason. As BB King says, Canales in over his head. And really, I feel like they're literally only hired Dave Canales to try and recollect Bryce Young after his poor season. So, again, Bryce Young could still be good. Dave Canales could be a good head coach. But at the end of the day, I don't think they hire Dave Canales if Bryce Young showed positive signs last year already. If he's a good guy, I think they just wanted to help transition the quarterback. What's up, fellas? Buccaneer ball about to start. One more week. Love the content. Watch every episode. We'll start commenting more. We love that. Nocturnal's Buck Talk. You're always welcomed in the comments. You're always welcomed on the program. So we appreciate you greatly. And yes, we are very close to some Bucs ball. Panthers are trash. That's why we love you, Pep and Steppen. Keep up the good-hearted work right there. Lucky Lucy, happy Labor Day week. Yes, how can I forget? Happy Labor Day weekend. Not only week one of college football, not only Saturday, but Labor Day weekend. That's why we got our commenters and contributors in the chat to keep my head afloat because sometimes I'm a loose screw. So thank you, Lucky, for that. Go Dogs, got Clemson today. 1 hour before game time. Yes, we are nearing game time, about 55 minutes until kickoff here. It's 11:06 on the East Coast. Clemson, Georgia is one of the games of the day. Georgia, for those unfamiliar with scouting college quarterbacks, they might have the number 1 pick next year, and Carson Beck under center for Georgia. Him or Shedeur Sanders, I don't know. But real quick to kind of wrap up Panthers talk, they also poached Cam Gill. Almost forgot about that. Former Bucs Super Bowl edge rusher. He's on their reserve. And then they just signed a guy this week who grew up 3 blocks from me. I was his big brother in elementary school, his guide. John Radigan, former Army linebacker, Seattle Seahawk linebacker, special teams ace. I know his family very well. Brother played at Penn State. Other brother played running back at Princeton. Johnny played linebacker at Army. And then he actually got undrafted free agent, signed with Seattle. And I was actually at his NFL debut because we were going to Colts Seahawks. My brother's a Colts fan. Bucs didn't play that day. I think they opened Thursday night that year. I think it was a year after the Super Bowl. So I had some free time. I seen his NFL debut. So kudos to John Radigan. But I hope you stink this year, John. I hope the Panthers stink as well. So, Yep, just a reminder, Panthers are trash. They sure are. We love that right here. Speaking of trash, we are not trash. We got the great J-Lo, the great Zack Johnson, Bucs by 30 in the house, as we have a few more things to go over, including Zack's beloved West Virginia, former school of his great family member Zach Frazier, against the Nittany Lions today, battling up here, 12 o'clock Eastern time in West Virginia. Pat McAfee's been there all week, as that's his alumni. He's been hyped up, and the crowd looks lively today, Zach. If you had to kind of give us your thoughts or predictions on how this one goes today, Zach. It's only a 7-point spread, so it should be a close game. I do think it's a close game, and I think we're in for a treat today with Penn State, West Virginia. What say you?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good game. Looking forward to seeing what the squad looks like. We had a good recruiting season. Neil's put together a good product, I think, and we're about to see the fruits of his labor since he got here. It's been a while to kind of restock the cabinet after Dana left us. So looking forward to it. Excited for Garrett Green. I think he's kind of gotten overlooked in some of the analysts and whatnot. We got a good receiving core. So, yeah, it's going to be a good time. And Morgantown was so busy yesterday with McAfee being there that they called off school. So there was no school in the county and Mon County because of the traffic that was just there. It was electric. So it's a good time.
I'm guessing McAfee got a lot more fans who are kids because they got to get out of school for a day. That's incredible, though. That's why I love college football. Stories exactly like that. Pepin Steppins' 27-24. Don't get me wrong. NFL's great. NFL's beautiful. Still my favorite. But college football is just different. You get these little intricacies like as such. You're canceling school because the town is so damn crowded because of the overflow. You don't get that anywhere besides college football. And I'm going to have to agree with you, Zach. I think West Virginia is actually very intriguing this year. I think that they provide many good opportunities to, sure, maybe they don't make the playoffs, but I think they'll make a healthy bowl game at the very least. I think Garrett Green is going to be a good gunslinger out there under center this year. I think he's a little bit overlooked. I'm also a fan of what's his face, of Preston Fox, a junior wide receiver they have as well. I think he can make some moves out there. So I think West Virginia is going to have what it takes to at least be competitive. And I think they could be the best collegiate team in both Virginia states, between Virginia, West Virginia. I think that West Virginia is going to be the team to beat this year out of any Virginia university, Zach. I think they're going to be better than Virginia Tech, and I think they'll be better than Virginia as well. What say you on that thought?
Oh, yeah. I might be a little bit biased, but yeah, I think so. And always better than Pitt. So, yeah,
Pitt's kind of been one of those programs that, we did get Cansey and Servachier, and we'll thank them for that. But outside of that, Pitt's kind of been a little disappointing in the past decade. They haven't really had many great moments. I know my guy Ben DiNucci started there at quarterback before transferring. Now he's making his way around the NFL. But you know, I think West Virginia has what it takes this year to make some noise. What say you, J-Lo?
Oh yeah, I mean, never say never. I do agree. I think they're the best team as far as at the Virginia universities. They're in the Big 12. Is that correct? The conference they're in.
Yeah.
Yep, they're with
I mean,
Kansas and all those cats.
oh yeah, I mean, like I said, I think I think they could show up and surprise a bunch of these good teams they're playing. To me, they're a competitive football team, and that's what you want out of your university. For them to compete, go out there, try to get some wins. Maybe not playoff bracket, but like you said, Tone, I think definitely a healthy bowl game, and just keep improving, their university and the recruiting and all that. That's what it's all about.
And real quick, the Big 12 for those thinking, oh, this is, my grandpa's Big 12. Well, remember, conference realignment, things change quick. The Big 12 all of a sudden grew to it's like the Big 10. The team, they just not 10 or 12 anymore. The Big 12 now is Colorado, the fight in prime time, Kansas, TCU, Central Florida, Utah, Arizona State, BYU, Baylor, Cincinnati, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas State, Oklahoma State, a lot of states there, Texas Tech, and West Virginia. I mean, Zach, this conference has blossomed into, to me, I think it's the third best conference right now. When it was the Power Five, I would say it was 4 or 5, still a really good conference. But these days, I think they're number 3, only behind the SEC and Big Ten.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a lot of growth this year. We did lose Texas and Oklahoma. They were here last year, and they realigned and went somewhere else. But I think it's going to be pretty competitive. There's so many teams that you can't even play every team in the conference in one season. So, we have to. We're not playing every team this year. We'll have to play them next year. So it's going to be makes for some exciting matchups.
Yeah, that's for sure, and it adds intensity out there. And again, it's not your old college football where you could kind of assume, okay, this team plays in this region, they're probably this conference. Well, nowadays, if you're in the Big Ten, you have Oregon and you got Rutgers. So those are going to be some epic battles. And then, man, college football is just interesting to say the least this year. Darlene comments, Notre Dame going to win the national championship. And I really think Notre Dame will be forced into a conference soon as well with all this realignment stuff and whatnot. They have to be, although I love them non-conference, I think they'll be forced into one. Our guy, Neil L., what it do, Neil? Remember to hit that like button, subscribe button if you are watching on YouTube as well, and turn that notification bell on. Go Bucs, Slim Stink says. That ain't the real Stink, but we love you, Slim Stink. We still love you, Slim Stink. We'll take you, whether it's Slim Stink, Stink Bastard, whoever it might be. As we're joined by the Godfather on Facebook, James Rubright, Leo Montavo. The crowd is here, ready to talk football with Bucs by 30. Zach, we'll let you go in a couple minutes if you kind of want to give us your final word for both West Virginia this week, Bucs football next week, and any last-minute thoughts you might want to bring up on the show in general.
Well, as far as West Virginia goes, I think they pull it out today. I know that might not be what you want to hear, but I think they pull it out today. We got the home crowd. The stadium's going to be striped. It's electric. So I think it's going to be a good game with the right outcome. Same for next week. Bucs by 30. Catching the Washington team at the right time. I think Bowles is going to show Daniel some stuff he hasn't seen before. Daniels didn't play that much in the preseason, so he doesn't have a lot of game experience in the NFL. So, like you said, hope we give him that welcome to the NFL moment. Start the season off right. It's always better to start 1-0 than 0-1. So,
ain't that the truth? Like, it's crazy because as you begin the football year, that's exactly how I break it down too, Zach. I'm like, 1-0 sounds great. 0-1 sounds ugly. Then if you get to 1-0, it's like 2-0 sounds great. 1-1 sound, you just keep building it like that, and it's crazy. And that's what us football fans do best is kind of overthink these type of things, and that's why I love football, man. It's really the best time of the year to me, not even close, bar none. You get games on Thursday nights, Friday nights, Saturday nights, Sundays, Mondays. At one point, from Thursday, October 3rd, I'll actually be at Bucs Falcons that night on my mom's birthday. Shout out, Mom. But October 3rd, Bucs Falcons, Thursday Night Football. From that night until Wednesday, November 26th, you get either an NFL or college football game every single night. Every single night. So, it's a great time to be a college fan, an NFL fan, or whatever. South Florida, highly anticipated showdown with Bethune-Cookman. Remember, Bethune-Cookman was the school that Ed Reed got bounced from, I believe, because Ed Reed got hired there, I think. And then he kind of made a rant about the campus being worn down and dirty and stuff. And they said, all right, Ed, you're done. And Ed Reed got fired, and Primetime had something to say about that as well. But we'll have a second of crosstalk here. Zach, if you want to give us your final word before we let Joey Nips on and get into some more talk, but kind of just give the show your final word, Zach. And once again, where the great people could find you on Twitter and all that stuff.
Yeah, just at Bucs By 30. Again, I appreciate the opportunity to come on, Tone. It's always fun talking football with you. And let's go Mountaineers.
And Zach, real quick here, we didn't get to talk about it, but I wanted to quick. Your fantasy league you run, it's a great league, and it's interesting because we kind of do something different than a buyout. If you want to share that quick as well, what does the championship winner bring home in our fantasy football league?
Championship belt. We had a custom-made belt, and we got players all up and down the East Coast, so that belt will have to either be hand-delivered or shipped. So, loser pays shipping, which is important to remember.
That is important to remember, and I know something else important. We got so many great Bucs people in that league. Incredible stuff. Zach, you actually, got a former Bucs player to join the league, so that's really cool within itself. Zach, you do a hell of a job, whether it's running a fantasy football league, whether it's keeping your man cave intact, and the best man cave I've ever seen. I'll hands down say that, or just being a Bucs or West Virginia fan, man. We appreciate you. Again, you're one of the kindest people out there. You're never really have a mean word to say about anything or anybody. Even me and you, we could disagree on this things, but at the end of the day, we're brothers, and I appreciate you. Never all with you. So hope to have you back here.
I appreciate that. There is a caveat to that, though. I will say a mean thing to the Saints fans because they deserve it. So, but that's important.
Yeah, well, Saints, J-Lo, any thoughts?
Yeah. No, thank you again for coming on. Appreciate your time, man. Like I said, you do great things from a distance, and appreciate what you do, man. Stay safe, man, and enjoy that first game, West Virginia, Penn State.
Awesome. Thank you, fellas. Have a good day.
Thanks again, Zach. The by 30, Zach Johnson is out of the building. We'll see here. West Virginia Bucs football. We'll see how many wins Zach could get. But Zach, enjoy your Saturday, brother. Thanks again.
Thank you.
The great Zach Johnson. That was fun, J-Lo, wasn't it?
Oh, always awesome having a Bucs fan on for one thing, and then, picking up from his brain and what he, does, collecting memorabilia. And I like that thing, that fantasy football. Chip belt sounds pretty nice. I got to step my game up, man.
Yeah, and we're welcoming in Joey Nips to the show now. Speaking of fantasy, Joey, how the hell you doing, brother? How are you on this Saturday?
Beautiful morning. It feels like that fall crisp football weather. We got a lot of good action today. Last week we got 4 games right for the appetizer. Today is the big one, a bunch of games you list on your board. I know you guys are already talking about the Inbreds versus Penn State at noon Eastern. So there's a lot of good games we got to look at today, and I'm ready to predict them and keep up the good vibes of our breadwinners later too. Great. Let's get it going.
Yeah, I'm still learning some technical intricacies, but I'm trying to get our graphic up of our breadwinners last week. So let me continue to work on that. As JT Olson from Bucs Report, I'd love to come in and take that belt from y'all. Hey, come on in next year. We do have Brad Johnson in the league, though, so I'll put you on warning. Big Bad Brad might do a trick shot and say, Ha, the smuts. Joey, if you had it, we're going to get into the world of college football here in a little bit. Well, actually, right now we will. Then we'll bounce around back to other talk and whatnot. But big game for your Irish today. They have a really tough matchup on hand. And what say you about how you're feeling about that? They go into a top 10, top 5, maybe top 3 toughest environment to play in the land of sports. How do you feel about that? As Notre Dame is ready to take battle tonight with Texas A&M?
You kind of look at it, right? We moved to 12 football playoff teams this year, and you start to feel a little bit better about teams when, you're a Penn State fan. I'm a Notre Dame fan. Hard to find yourself in that top 4. But the Irish have a very tough one to start here. Like you said, we, had fun chats about it early in the past. I think it's one of the hardest places to play in college football, if not the hardest. They're a bunch of crazy lunatics with half their teeth out there rooting for their Texas A&M Aggies. So I hope my Irish, led by new quarterback Riley Leonard from the Dukies, could help us out. Sam Hartman has moved on as he is now, I think, a UDFA to a National Football League team. So we got Riley Leonard. He's got a little bit more speed. Here's the issue. Our left tackle went out for the year. Our O-line is a little bit messed up, and the A&M coach knows Riley Leonard very well. So it's going to be hostile. It's going to be tough. It's going to be grit. Our schedule gets a lot easier after this game. So you can't start 0-1. You'll put yourself behind the 8 ball. You won't be in the top 12, and it'll be hard to climb out of that as you play the Little Sisters of the Poor week after week after this game. So I'm looking for a good close matchup. I'm just hoping we come up on the right side of things. Of course, if you're looking for a prediction from me, my heart is always going to go with the Golden Domers. I would say it'd be a close one, 24-21 Irish, but not going to be easy by any means. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. A&M's got a lot going for them today in their home state. These week ones are all juiced up, right? Everybody's on the same playing turf. Everyone's bricked the F up. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, and Joey, I think you hit on a great point. We briefly chatted earlier because Zack joined us, Bucs by 30, great Bucs Man Cave and all that stuff, big West Virginia fan. But we were saying between our 3 teams itself, as Scott Broadway says, morning, let's go, boys and girls, Cleveland meet. But all of our teams, Florida, Penn State, Notre Dame, West Virginia, we all have our playoff chances increase greatly with this new playoff format, the 12-team format. Back in the day, again, Penn State, West Virginia, Notre Dame, Florida, we lost 1 game. We were pretty much done. You lose 2 games, you're automatically done. Now that's a little different, not so fast, not so much. We got another Gators guy. Go Gators, says Scott. J-Lo, what are your thoughts on tonight's Notre Dame A&M matchup? It's a big one. It's going to set the stage on fire. 2 top 25 teams cadoodling here on week 1 opening night in a very tough atmosphere here. That's for sure.
No, very tough. Like going to that stadium, that environment, it's very hostile. I mean, just seeing my Gators go over there a couple times, it's rough. Like it's never easy to go over there, even though they got a new head coach, a new system and all that. But like Joey mentioned, he knows Riley Leonard very well from their time at Duke together. So, it'll be intriguing. I mean, I think I'll say this. I do think Notre Dame will pull out a win just because of the continuity of the coaching compared to A&M. A&M's got a lot more to build upon. So now will be the time to play them now before they start building confidence, because playing any SEC team is never easy. I don't care what people say. Yeah, they've been off the grid a little bit, but still, SEC is one of the best conferences in the nation, in my opinion, on that. But I say Notre Dame definitely pulls out a win over A&M.
Looking fresh in that blue. Mr. J-Lo. Yes, sir.
Rivalry week, baby. Rivalry week.
I was telling J-Lo he was looking fresh today. He looks like he's
got a nice lady on the horizon, little chummy for later. What's going on here?
No, I just feel like showing my face, man. Usually I kind of keep myself hidden, but now,
Face for radio, we get it.
Hey, man, like I said, I had to show my jersey off, man. Gator Nation, I love my Gators. A lot of doubters out there. We got a very tough schedule toward November, which is fine. I mean, whatever. But Florida's got a good shot at getting out to a good start before we hit that heavy schedule when we hit teams like Georgia, Texas, Ole Miss, LSU, FSU at the end of the year, even though I don't think they're that good this year. I think they're booty, but that's just me.
Yeah, and, well, I mean, yeah, I think last week proved that a little bit as well, right? I think they went down like a rock, and we predicted that here in our Breadwinners segment. We went 4-0 last week, and we're going to do it again this week. We're going to continue to win you guys money if you guys listened to us last week and put $20 on every bet we recommended, you would have net profited $139. We're 4-0 on the season now. Again, I'm trying to find I could put the
I
graphic.
saw something show up. It looks smaller than my sack, but I
could put it.
up
See,
there.
I could get it top right. I'm trying to figure out some other things as well. So bear with me here as we do get into our breadwinners. But we're going to preview Florida, Miami now as well. J-Lo, thoughts on the Gators as J.C. Allen gives us an update on his son Cannon's team. They're up 25-14 at the half, JC. So great stuff there. Always great to hear. But J-Lo, thoughts on Gators, Miami, Florida breakdown today. Let's go.
Well, for one thing, a rivalry has been renewed with the Hurricanes, Florida Gators. There's been some posts I've seen of the Hurricanes taking over the swamp area, which is total BS because I've been to the swamp, and let me tell you, you'll see more blue and orange in that stadium than that ugly green and orange, whatever they wear. Hurricane fans still want to believe, even though they haven't won a national championship in a long, long time. But anyway, Florida, I feel like Graham Mertz is very underrated, not well respected. The man, I feel like, had a pretty good year last year for what he had, 20 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He's not a turnover machine. He's pretty good at managing the ball on that point. The offensive line's a little suspect right now, because they made some movement. They moved, I believe, George, who was a transfer from Alabama a couple of years ago. He was the starting tackle on the right side last year. Now he's moved into the guard mode, so we'll see how that goes. The defense is very suspect, but they brought, a veteran defensive play caller from Auburn who I feel is going to make a bigger difference than what Armstrong has brought.
And here we go, quick, not to cut
Yeah.
J-Lo off, but just to show you guys our bets from last week. Breadwinners segment, quick. 4-0. We're going to bring this back up, but glad I was able to do it. J-Lo, continue.
Yeah, but anyway, it'll be interesting. I think it'll be a very close game. I feel like both defenses are not going to play as well. I think Florida's going to be able to move the ball pretty effectively, in my opinion, especially with Graham Mertz going to his second year. I'm looking forward to seeing Eugene Wilson at wide receiver. I think he's going to be the true number one guy after Pearsall was running it the last couple of years. But I say give me Florida in a close one. I think it will come down to a final drive, and I think Florida's going to be the one that's going to have the ball, and they get a game-winning touchdown drive.
Yeah, Joey, your thoughts on Florida, Miami, big game one here. Stunner's team against J-Lo's team. Battle of the Sunshine State. Who you got here? As JT Olson says from Bucs Report, who's losing by more today, Notre Dame or Florida? Wow, some bold words there. But Joey, what say you?
Well, let's look at this JT guy. It seems like a good guy, nice guy. Not a lot of brain power, but we'll skip past that for now as we'll get the proof in the pudding tonight on that one. As Stephen A. Smith would say, that's preposterous animosity on that. So here we go. Talking about the two quarterbacks, that's where I'm looking at because that's what I know best when it comes down to these two teams. You have Cam Ward transferring now on his third team, but he gets better by the season. Last year, he had close to 4,000 yards passing, 25 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions. Then you look at Mr. Graham Mertz, who I will say, he didn't have as many passing yards, but he didn't turn the football over last season. Very key with only 3 interceptions. So to me, it's simple. Who can win the turnover game, right? It comes down to a lot of that in these football games. And I think Florida being at home with a little bit more camaraderie has the slight edge. So I think, don't tell the experts, but Florida and Notre Dame both in a close one. Again, who can turn it over less? I think Mertz will do a little better job of that today than Mr. Cam Ward for Miami.
Yeah, and Cam Ward is an interesting specimen, that's for sure. And both games are going to be electric. Again, Notre Dame, A&M, big game tonight. One of the better games of the day. To me, there's a lot of great games for week one today, guys. Usually you get a lot of powder puff matchups. Alabama's always playing the Pee Wee football team from down the block. You usually get Georgia, who plays a team that, gathers on a certain type of bus. But other than that, you get some good real matchups today. Hey, we up here in Michigan are well aware of how fraudulent the Irish. Oh boy.
Hey, I can't say much. Michigan, right now they're the team to beat, right? But when you lose Harbaugh and you go to that sad sack of shit coach they got now, it's going to go way down the tubes this year with one of the youngest teams in college football losing all of their offensive linemen. You have the upper hand right now, Mr. Michigan, but by the end of the year, you might be 500. Take that.
And that game 7:30 Eastern tonight is A&M is -3 against Notre Dame over there. And then you look into the spread of Miami and the Gators. And that is the 2.5-point spread. Florida's getting 2.5 point. That's a 3:30 Eastern kickoff over there. So a couple of behemoths matchups on our hands, as well as the great El Monito's joining us on Facebook. And yeah, it's been awesome stuff so far here, as well as we're getting plenty of Facebook views, getting plenty of other stuff, getting plenty of action. The great Bucs By 30 joined us earlier. Now we got Joey Nips on talking the world of college football, ladies and gentlemen. So we got continued talk of college football. Joey, we'll get your thoughts here. Penn State -7 at West Virginia. I think this is going to be a good game. I think West Virginia's looks primed to have a bigger season. And again, I think they're the best team in the state, in the two states of Virginia, between West Virginia and Virginia this year. I think they outpace both Virginia Tech and Virginia, Joey. So what say you on Penn State heading into a tough environment today? This game's a 12 o'clock kickoff Eastern time here.
I mean, yeah, Penn State, they're another one of those teams I mentioned, like a Notre Dame, even, like a Florida. These teams are looking to fight their way into the top 12 to get to the playoffs. And it starts not with an easy game, not with the most tough game in the world. But I tell you what, I've been seeing the McAfee show. I think he's been feeding them beers and tuition money since Wednesday. So this crowd's going to be electric in West Virginia. And what will they be doing during the game? Passing out, buging? I have no idea. But they were ready since Thursday, and they're ready right now. So we will see. Penn State, year 2 now. They had a little new QB last year. A couple things, I believe, maybe, I don't know if there was an offensive coordinator change, possibly. But I think the camaraderie with the Nittany Lions will take them, again, closer than the experts think. I actually think there's a chance West Virginia backdoor covers. I don't know about how much they'll be in it, but I could see them taking a 7-0 lead and then Penn State finding their groove and winning this game. So I don't know exactly what to do on the spread there with the back door, but I do like the Nittany Lions on the road and what seems to be a drunken West Virginian, I'm not going to say my next word, environment. I'll take the Lions in a close one.
JT says, I got to bounce. Y'all enjoy football today, y'all. Thanks for joining, JT. And we hope to get you on the show soon. I know we've been in talks about a weekday appearance from
Bring
you.
it, JT.
Yeah, he's a great one, man. Again,
I love the fire.
Bucs Report contributor, does a great job over there covering the Bucs. So we appreciate the great JT Olson. Icewater Olson is his name on Twitter, I believe. J-Lo, quick thoughts in about 30 seconds to a minute on West Virginia, Penn State.
I think it's going to be a close one for sure. Definitely the environment's definitely going to make the game more interesting. Seeing how Penn State goes into Morgantown, into that, like Joey said, crazy crowd. But I definitely see maybe Penn State looking a little rusty at first, but then they'll get it together and win a close one up in West Virginia.
Yeah, I could see it as well. I'm obviously a little biased, but I'm going to go with Penn State here too. A little bit, just a little bit, but I think Penn State ends up pulling it out here today.
What are we going to get out of Drew Aller this year? What are we looking at here?
Well, we'll get into Eller here shortly, and let me remove. I'm trying to come up with this bread in a damn good spot, but
hey, that looked great. It was big, bold, and beautiful right on the damn front screen.
Yeah, we'll get into our breadwinners here in a minute, but Drew Aller, I think he's in for a big year. And as you alluded to, Joey, he had a new coordinator last year offensively. Penn State also had a new defensive coordinator last year as well. They had a few coordinator replacements. And James Franklin really has to prove himself now with this 12-team playoff format that he could win the big football game. That's been one of the caveats of James Franklin's tenure in Penn State in Happy Valley. If he could win the big game this year, it's not if, it's he needs to win the big game. Penn State needs to get in the playoffs this year. And fun fact, fellas, if it was a 12-team playoff for the past 8 years now, Penn State would have gotten into 6 of the playoffs out of the 8. So, again, this is a team that's ready to roll, 12-team layout. Al Monito's joining us on Facebook. Fun stuff on our hands today. Breadwinners on the horizon. Yes, we do. Let's get the music cue, because if you guys remember, we are playing music for breadwinners this year. I think that's only appropriate, especially after last week, ladies and gentlemen, where we went 4-0 in our breadwinner segment. And again, music means breadwinners. Going to pull it up. Our faces will go away here briefly to recap last week. 4-0. If you guys listened to our bets, it was incredible. We had Brewers money line over the A's. Delaware State taking on Hawaii and covering. Lobos spread, they covered. And then J-Lo with the big Georgia Tech money line. But 4-0 in our betting segment last week. Really beautiful stuff there. We're going to continue to bring the noise, bring the heat in the world of betting today. And when we do breadwinners, it's for the whole world of sports. Not only college football, not only NFL. It could be anything. So once again, breadwinners, 4-0. Recap of last week. Brewers money line hit versus the A's on Saturday. Delaware State spread hit. Lobos spread hit. Georgia Tech money line hit. If you guys were to do this last week, it would have been, a really, really, really beneficial week. $139 net profit week to be exact. If you were to put $20 a pop on each game. So without further ado, let's get into our breadwinners here for today, for this weekend. And I should say it's not only for today. So if anyone has a Sunday, Monday bet as well, since it's an extended weekend, you can surely do that. But right now we're plus $139, which would be 120 plus 7 units. We're plus 7 units on the year. Some of those other morning talk show jackass out there, I'm 9-0. This guy's 0-1. This guy's 0-1. They really segregate it and try and make people feel bad, it seems. We're not going to do that here on the Buccaneers on Saturday Super Show, Saturday Showdown here. We're going to give it to you how it is. J-Lo, get us to 5-0, buddy. Who you going with as your breadwinner today?
So this was a tough one. I wanted to keep on picking on Florida State, going money line with Boston College, but I think I'm going to go a different route this time because I'll give the nose a break. Give me Virginia Tech. Yeah, because Virginia Tech's playing Vanderbilt, right? Give me Virginia Tech money line against Vanderbilt.
Wow, I like that one, J-Lo, and that's plus a little bit, if I'm not mistaken, right? Let me see the odds. I think the spread's about 3 in that game. So the money line is, let me see here. That's a 12 o'clock kickoff. You won't win much of a return, J-Lo, but if you want to do that route, you could. Virginia Tech is minus 13. That spread ballooned up to 13. There must have been a QB injury there or something. You sure you want to go money line or spread there, J-Lo?
Go spread. We'll go with spread.
All right, so Virginia Tech minus 13 points on the spread. You could do money line, but that would only net profit you $5 if they won. Again, your call, as we do things here differently. We do it by the money here, how much money you're going to win. So it's up to you. Do you want to do the minus 13, or do you want to do the money line $20 to win 5? That's up to you.
I say go with the spread. One more money.
Yep.
That's what I say.
Yep.
You're growing.
Show me the money.
You're growing the big balls. I love it, my friend. So J-Lo's breadwinner of the day, Virginia Tech spread. Let me get that here in the comments. Joe Berg, you have a Olive saying Joe Berg. Where are you going for your breadwinner of the weekend, my friend?
It's a football day. Not so fast, my friends. We're going to the land of Major League Baseball. That's where I got my victory from last week. We stuck in the National League Central with the Brewers. We're doing it again today with a home proud favorite, Chicago Cubs. They're minus 115 on the money line with the sod father on the mound. No, not that cheap ass guy who does cleans the all the dugouts and all that with the no. We got Jeremy Assad. Chicago Cubs minus 115 in the Capitol, where things are crazy and plunging as always. Chicago Cubs on the money line, looking to continue the MLB streak.
Good stuff there as Joey's breadwinner remains in the world of baseball. Reminds me of a former show we were on with some baseball talk on a college football Saturday here. But we're about the money, ladies and gentlemen. We care about winning you guys money. So that's why we do, that's why we expand just football. Because
And baseball's almost over, so I don't have many opportunities back at it. You see what I'm saying?
And again, sports show. I know it's mainly football, but we like to give you guys good stuff. Christopher Cole already commented. He was the first comment of the day saying he can't wait for the bash at Berlin. So, we talk all things sports here today. And speaking of sports, I'll go ahead and give my breadwinner now. Let me pick it up here. All these games today. A lot of crazy stuff out there in terms of spreads. Kind of shuffled through some of this. Real quick, J-Lo, I want to get your thoughts. This ain't a breadwinner pick, but Florida International, that's our friend Anthony Gator. He'll be joining the podcast sometime this week. Or next week, I should say, technically. But that'll be a lot of fun. Defensive backs coach, Florida International's own Anthony Gator joining the show. They're at Indiana today, 24-point underdogs, J-Lo. Who you going with there, Indiana or Florida International?
I'm going to go Florida International. I'm going to stay in the Sunshine State. I'm going to root for Anthony Gator and his boys to go in there and surprise Indiana.
Joey, Florida International.
Are you crazy?
At Indiana.
Coach Signetti, coming from the great James Madison, is going to get this IU football team ready to play today. I'm looking for a cover by Florida Atlantic. However, I'm thinking Indiana 28, Florida Atlantic 10, and what will be one of the least enjoyable games of the day to watch. Thank you.
International, right? Florida Atlantic played last night.
Yeah, international.
I'm sorry. All these damn tomato, orange peel, red peel. My bad on that, folks. 28-7 IU. 28-10 IU. I'll give them 10.
Yeah, so I'm going with Florida International in the 24 points. I think Coach Gator and the Panthers of Florida International are ready to play here today. I love these matchups because it's two bowl-eligible teams, but it's a little bit of a different feel, right? It's not quite the FCS versus FBF matchup, but you still get a little bit of an underdog type feel. I'm going to roll with the fighting Anthony Gators here. Spreads up to 24.5 now. So that means the money's coming in on Indiana as we speak, as the spread has moved from 24 to 24.5. But I'll go ahead and give my breadwinner now here as we speak. We already have the Cubs money line today as one of our breadwinners against the Nationals. We also have Virginia Tech spread minus 13 points as a breadwinner here today, as they take on Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's one of those programs that continues to collapse here in recent years. My breadwinner of the day is the under in Texas Tech, Abilene Christian, 59 points under for that. I know. I feel like.
Is that even on TV?
I would think so. It's somewhere on TV on Fox Sports 3.
Darknet.
What do you get in the Matt McGee title or something now? You're trying to be like armchair here on this show.
Whoa.
But I like that a lot. The over-under is currently sitting at 59 points. I think Texas Tech wins this one 49-7 or something like that, and that gets you the under. So, again, recap of our breadwinners for today. Let's get to 7-0, fellas. That's what we want to get to greatly here. We have J-Lo getting Virginia Tech money line, or Virginia Tech spread. They're minus 13. Joey, Cubs money line today. They're at Washington Nationals. And Texas Tech versus Abilene Christian under here today, the 59-point mark. And that is our breadwinners of the weekend. Fellas, how you feeling? Joey, we'll start with you.
Oh, I'm feeling like $1 million when you're 4-0 and you're looking for more victories or in Winston eating W's. We're going to keep taking it to the promised land here. And let's continue the streak. We got a lot going on. A lot of, it's crazy how much is going to be on the TV today. I'll be parked front and center for all the action.
J-Lo, how you feeling about our three breadwinners today?
Oh, man. I feel great, man. I woke up. I pissed excellent. You're not first, you last, baby. Ricky Bobby mode.
Bricked up, baby.
Like I said, I like it where we're going with this. I think we're going to win people some money today.
Yeah, and Pops text in, Penn State wins by 10 today and Notre Dame by 4. He's thinking. So, yeah, we used to have a Husker guy that used to watch the show. He's more missing than, Waldo.
He's Ray Charles in it over here.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell he's doing, but hey, maybe he's smoking meth or doing something. I mean, he lives in Nebraska, so, he's probably getting ready for the game by doing lines of Crocodile or something.
Damn!
Hey, I'm sorry, man. I mean, what else are, hey, the guy promised to be here this year, hyped it up. Oh, Saturdays, I can't wait till those are back. Where the hell are you, old man? Get the hell with it. Get your ass in the game, Mr. H, and get serious. That's all I'm saying. So, and if you are watching, thanks.
Yowie, wowie.
Use your thumbs to contribute a little bit. It's epic. You hype us up all off season. You say you're going to be here, and then you're harder to find than Waldo. So I don't know what the hell's up with that. But speaking of what's up, a couple more minutes left here on the Buccaneers, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into a couple more. Olivia, cover your ears on Olive. I'm sorry if this is foul for you, but cover your ears. Joey, and we're gonna end with a couple more college games, but real quick, we're gonna take a deep dive into the world of fantasy. J-Lo, how are your drafts going? Any upcoming on this beautiful Labor Day weekend in the world of fantasy?
I got an amazing lineup coming up on draft days. I got a draft tomorrow. I'm hoping to make it to the draft party for that one. The league I run Monday will be Monday night and Labor Day. I'll be leaving work, calling butt home, and get ready to try to regain my ground, winning the whole thing again. And then I got one Wednesday with you and a couple other great people in our wonderful fantasy world.
Joey, what say you on fantasy? And I'm going to twist it to you, Joe. Anyone's stock rising or falling unexpectedly? Have you been drafting this year, and have you looked and said either that guy's going too high or that guy's going too low?
I mean, absolutely. I've had a couple of drafts to this point. I'm looking at one of my rosters right now, and somebody that a lot of people are down on, and I'm really not quite getting sure because, I know running backs go downhill, but let's keep in mind Derrick Henry is going to be a great valued pick this year. Teaming up with Lamar Jackson next to him, you're asking for one of the best running combinations in the league, if not the best. So I'm liking Derrick Henry, why people say his stock is falling. And then on the other side of things, I get a little skeptical right at the top of the first round. We have a lot of injury prone / people who've missed time. We have Justin Jefferson. He was out last year, but now he's back healthy, catching balls from bags of sand. Then you got Christian McCaffrey. You don't know how many games you're always getting out of him. Breece Hall is up the boards like no other with the expected Aaron Rodgers to be back at quarterback. So just be careful at the top, make some wise choices, and don't forget your familiar faces like your Derrick Henry, your Patrick Mahomes. These veterans will not do you wrong in your fantasy football leagues.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and always interesting to see the line shifts, the movements of players' draft stocks from year to year and where that ends up. Guys, we're going to do our quick 3 minutes here. We're going to go around the world of football. Just give me who you're taking. We're doing spreads or over-unders. I'm just going to lay one on the line to you guys, and you say where you are heading in the game. Purdue -35, home against Indiana State, noon kickoff. Joey, where are you headed?
Oh, JMV, home of the Sycamores, baby. Alumni from there. I am going with the cover for the Sycamores of Indiana State University.
Wow. J-Lo, UConn, +18 at Maryland. That's a fun one. Noon Eastern as well. Where are you heading there, J-Lo?
Give me the Terrapins of Maryland. Let's go.
Joey, big game today. Clemson getting 11.5. Dabo Sweeney on the road, noon Eastern. Kickoffs in about 10 minutes from now against Georgia. Georgia's laying the 11.5. Who you going with?
Well, Clemson's getting the most points they have in a long time on week one, and Georgia finally has a quarterback that doesn't nerd out like Rodriguez, that former kicker in college at Numchuck. So give me Georgia. Send the points across the land to Clemson. I think Bulldogs win big.
J-Lo, 3:30 kickoff. UTEP, University of Texas El Paso, takes on Nebraska. Nebraska's -28 points with former Panthers head coach Matt Rule. Where is your heart and head in this one?
I like Nebraska. I think the true freshman quarterback star in Raiola, so I'm rooting for him. So go Cornhuskers.
As we get into the night slate here, Joey, we have South Florida USF against Bethune-Cookman, 39.5-point spread. Give our South Florida fans either some hope or doubt. They're laying 39.5.
Sure, I'll give you hope. You guys are going to win by 1 million. Give me South Florida. What else do you need from me?
There we go. J-Lo, Bama takes on the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky, 34 points there, 7 o'clock Eastern kickoff. Where's your heart and head at, J-Lo?
Oh, yeah, it should be a dominating game for Alabama, even though they got a new head coach, but I feel like they'll cover that for sure.
Tonight's nightcap, Joey, heading to you here. We got New Mexico taking on Arizona. Arizona minus 30.5 against the Lobos, who went down last week against Montana State. Where are you going? 21 ranked Arizona or the big dogs in New Mexico?
Well, I didn't know shit about the Lobos until last week. I found out they are shit. Give me Arizona. Give them all the points and send them back to New Mexico. Wildcats.
J-Lo, LSU dropping 4.5 tomorrow night, 7:30 for Sunday night kickoff against USC Southern Cal. Who do you like in that one, Brian Kelly and co. or the kids of California?
Ooh, tough one. I say LSU, man. SEC all day. You don't like Brian Kelly, but give me LSU over USC.
Joey, Monday night, Labor Day week, Labor Day holiday. Boston College getting 16.5 points heading into Florida State as we're joined by the great Richard right now. Good morning to you in LA, sir. I know it's early. Sorry about that. Boston College, 16.5-point dogs on Monday night, Joey, against Florida State. Where are you headed?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be against Florida State. This is the time where they finally turn it around. Sad for them. They didn't make the playoffs. Sad for them. They lost week 1. Wham, wham, wham. Strike 3, you're out. They get a big win, big cover. Florida State Seminoles destroy Boston College.
And then both of you will answer this one Thursday night. Kickoff is here, 6 days away. Oh, Richard saying that's what J-Lo looks like. We got, since J-Lo's usually behind the camera,
bold and beautiful.
We love our guy, J-Lo. Look at that here. That slicked hair looks great. J-Lo, we'll start with you. Ravens getting 2.5 points on the road against the Chiefs. 8:20 Eastern Thursday night football. First NFL game of the year. Where are you going, J-Lo?
I'm going Baltimore, man. I'm going Lamar. I like Derrick Henry, the addition. I think he's definitely going to help carry the football really well, take less pressure off Lamar. Give me the Ravens on the road, beating the Super Bowl champs. Well, I'm sorry, back-to-back champs. Ravens all day.
My apologies, Joe. You're actually not getting that game. I forgot we had a Friday night game next week, and we won't be on before that.
Oh, thank God. I thought you were going to give me Montana State versus the Little Sisters of Guadalupe or something. Jesus.
You get Packers-Eagles over under 49 points. Are you going over or under that 49-point mark? That game is in São Paulo, Brazil, at 8:15 Eastern on Friday night's loaded. You got that, Northwestern Duke, couple other college games, but over under you going, Joey?
Usually the defenses are a little ahead of the offenses. We're playing in a foreign country on some foreign soil. You never know how the grass, the turf, whatever they might be playing on will be. Give me the under slightly. I hate rooting for unders, but I'm not trusting this overseas crap. Give me the under.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We did our football picks, our breadwinners, as Tina Giacobbe's joining on Facebook as well. We appreciate you watching as our Facebook group continues to grow. But reminder, 4-0 last week in breadwinners, and today we're looking to get to 7-0 as J-Lo picked Virginia Tech minus 13. Joey picked the Cubs money line. I have Abilene Christian, Texas Tech under 59 points. Joey, final word, and give us a Cleve and Me rundown of what's been going on in the world of Cleve and Me as you log off here.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 1, go Irish. Number 2, go Colts. But at 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central, get Bash at Berlin on the Peacock Network. The Cock is great. You get it. If you're subscribed, you don't have to pay extra for the pay-per-view. There's 5 great matches today. Cody Rhodes will be a part of the show, amongst many others. The Bash at Berlin will be mixed in with college football here. Cleve and Me will recap it next week with Mr. Tones. J-Lo will be back joining us soon, and is my buddy partner Cleve. Well, Good guy, nice guy, but can't say much more than that. Bash at Berlin, WWE style. I'm out.
And fantasy football draft tomorrow night in person, live draft with the great Myron Chapman in the house.
And Tim Walls.
I don't know what I said. Yeah, we do have Mickey Mouse live in attendance autograph session if anyone wants. Tim Crowley, that thing ain't worth much. But J-Lo, final word here. Joey, thanks again for joining as always, brother. J-Lo, give us your final word of the weekend. Wow.
Mic drop. Go Gators. Let's fucking go.
Absolutely. And go Penn State. Go Penn State. Get the best of West Virginia. Let's go Nittany Lions. Whoa! This is our year, baby. Nittany Lion Nation is Pops texting. They say this new Penn State offensive coordinator is really going to open up the offense this year. We're going to open that bitch like a can of whoop ass. Whoa! 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 Ride him, cowboy. Amped up, fired up, bricked up, perked up. I'm everything here on a college football Saturday. We had a beautiful one today. We were joined in the first half by the great Bucs By 30, Zack Johnson. Then as every Saturday, we're joined by Joey Nips in the back half of the show to talk fantasy, college, gambling, NFL, and so much more. J-Lo, I love these Saturday shows. It's always a blast, my brother, until Tuesday night where we're on the Buccaneers again, where we make our final four predictions of the Bear draft for the Bear draft.
Ooh, it's so exciting. Let's go. Football
Fire the damn
fast.
cannons. Go Bucks. Go Gators. Go Notre Dame. Go Florida International and go Penn State. We're rooting for you, Anthony Gator. Go in there and smack Indiana. Let's go. Hoo, hoo, hoo. Out of the building. Thanks, J-Lo. Have a great Saturday, brother.
God bless, brother.
Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bug.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.